and welcome back to another Doctor Who The Collection Complete Classic Season Blu-ray box set review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of the latest releases as a part of the series, which is of course the penultimate set of Third Doctor adventures featuring Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. Season 10 is of course the 10th anniversary of Doctor Who, featuring the first ever appearance of Omega, the last ever appearance of Rodger Delgado as the Master, alongside the departure of Katie Manning as Jo Grant in The Green Death, featuring 5 Third Doctor stories from 1972 and 1973. As per usual, the recommended retail of this box set I do believe was around £50+, however the majority of retailers were selling it around £35 to £40. However, at the current time of filming, all the usual online retailers that I would recommend buying this product from, including Zavvi, Zoom and Amazon, seem to currently have this product out of stock, so this box set does seem to have been one of the more popular box sets that have been released so far in the complete season line. Therefore, if you are a collector of this series and wish to get your hands on this box set, I certainly recommend doing so soon. I do believe that Argos may have some stock, and of course HMV in store may also have some available as well, but I certainly recommend picking up this box set as soon as possible in order to avoid disappointment. So very much like the previous 3 box sets that have been released as a part of this series, the artwork has been created by the wonderful Lee Binding, and once again he has done an absolutely brilliant job, and it is a really lovely representation of Season 10 as a whole. Of course, this box set does contain all of the episodes from Season 10, alongside many documentaries, many featurettes, and lots of exclusive bonus material that certainly makes this product worth your purchase if you have the money. The brilliant thing with these classic season box sets is that the episodes themselves are almost just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the actual contents, and there is so much more to discover within the special features. Much like all of the previous box sets released as a part of this series, it does of course come wrapped in cellophane. However, once this is unwrapped, you do have the cardboard slipcase underneath. Now once again, this is the same design to usual, where we have a continuation of the artwork on the front, really nicely blended with a few bits of text on the bottom of this, including the new series Doctor Who logo, which this time round has been given a rather nice orange glow, blends into the actual artwork itself. Above this we have the BBC logo, and then below this we have the collection Season 10, along with the PG disc rating. Flipping the product around to the side, of course we get the continuation with Season 10 repeated once again, and then of course on the back of the slipcase itself we get your usual layout with an image at the very top, along with special features included on this release. This features the title of the product once again, along with the slogan, "Build your own Doctor Who archive with this Ultimate Collector's set," along with a classic season featuring the Third Doctor, with all 26 episodes newly restored for Blu-ray, packed with bonus material. Then just below this it goes on to state all 5 episodes featured on this box set, including The 3 Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, Frontier in Space, Planet of the Daleks, and The Green Death. And just to the side of this we get the image that is once again repeated on the booklet for Season 10, featured on the inside of the box. Further down the slipcase is Special Features Central, as you do have a massive list of all the different bonus and special features included within this box set. Now if you are somebody who has collected the previous Doctor Who Classic Series DVDs and those special features within those discs, then this main bubble in the very middle here is your major selling point for this box set, as this is the list of the majority of the brand new special features that are either filmed exclusively for this box set or are brand new inclusions that haven't been included on the previous DVD releases. Below this it does also go on to state the many other special features included on this release that have also came out previously on DVD. In a rather modern way, just below this we do also have starring Jon Pertwee and Katie Manning with Nicholas Courtney, and I do think it would have been nice to maybe have on this as well and Rodger Delgado, especially considering that this box set features his last appearance. It's just a minor little gripe, doesn't really mean too much, but I still think it would have been nice to have this included. The bottom of the slipcase finishes off with your general Blu-ray disc information, along with the feature length for this box set being 624 minutes approximately. As with all of the previous box sets released as a part of this series, of course the slipcase is removable to reveal a much more clean and textless version of the cover art itself. However, I still recommend keeping this cardboard slipcase, no doubt most of you will anyway, but it does feature all the different details about the box set which will come in handy when you are watching each disc. The box set artwork for this release has once again been created by Lee Binding, and he has done a phenomenal job. I think that it looks lovely, very visually striking, a lovely use of colour, very much like the previous box sets that have been released as a part of this series. The colour palette is very different to those previous box sets. Season 18 seemed to be rather purplish and blue in its design, and this one for the most part is of course a very ominous green and orange design, which is very cool indeed. Now of course, unlike some of the previous box sets, this photo has in fact seen a few revisions compared to that of the original announcement picture. I do believe the major difference is in fact Jon Pertwee's head. Originally it was flipped or something like that, because that is how the BBC archive saves photos very unusually, and this has now been flipped around to how it would normally be in real life. So yeah, to be quite honest, I didn't really notice. I think he just looked a little bit off on the original photo, but I couldn't really put my finger on why, but it is nice to see that change in there. Not really too much of an issue for me. Of course, the rest of the costume itself, they've decided to use the green design that's been used in the Carnival of Monsters and in the early half of the Green Death. A very nice costume once again, and a really nice use of colour within the actual artwork itself. And then we have the sonic screwdriver, of course, in the very middle, really nicely represented. And the sides of the box have been really nicely and subtly been given this vortex design, of course, as seen throughout the 1973 era of Doctor Who. You have these almost flame designs coming around the side, which is very nice and subtle, and once again has been given a greenish-orange highlight. Central image of the set does of course contain many of the monsters and villains seen throughout the season, including the Supreme Dalek as seen within Planet of the Daleks, and then of course along the opposite side we get two more General Daleks as seen throughout the same story, as well as in the later half of the Frontier in Space. The central main villain is of course Omega, and then just below this we have a Draconian as well as Ogeron from the Frontier in Space as well. I must admit it would have been nice to maybe see a Drashig on this, or something from the Carnival of Monsters. It would most likely be a Drashig, wouldn't it, because they're kind of the most visually unique thing from that story, but it would have been nice to see them on there because I do love the Drashigs. And also it is an unusual choice to not have Rodger Delgado on there, but I do believe that that is most likely because he features within many of the previous Third Doctor stories from earlier seasons, so he has plenty of opportunities to appear on the other upcoming complete season box sets in the many years to come. Just to give a closer up look at Jon Pertwee and the image used, this is a really nice high quality and looks very crisp, and makes the overall product presentation look that of premium quality. Flipping the cover art around to the back of the box, once again, as per usual, do get the inclusion of the TARDIS. However, every single release is really nicely and uniquely making each box set look different compared to that of the first release of the series, being Season 12 that just had a regular image of the TARDIS. This time round, Lee has gone with a really lovely visual of the TARDIS box that I do believe was created by Jonathan Pickard, and then we do also have this effect of the black hole kind of design seen throughout the three Doctors, and a little image there of Unit HQ also getting banished into the antimatter universe as well. Of course, around the sides you do get various stars from constellations, making it look like a regular Doctor Who title sequence starfield, which is a really lovely touch and a lovely piece of presentation. As for the sides of the box, once again this is exactly the same format to usual, so we have a more shrunken down image of the cover itself, and then a very clear Doctor Who logo, this time in the black typeface, with the Season 10 band at the very bottom. Now of course naturally this can be displayed alongside the previous box set releases that have came out, and I'm never going to get tired of doing this. I can't wait to have all 26 of them within a row. It will look incredibly cool indeed, but as you can see, Season 10 really nicely fits in with all of the previous seasons released so far within the line, and I can't wait to add Season 23 to this later on this year. Opening up the Season 10 box set now to take a look on the inside. Every single release seems to be getting more and more creative in its way of representing that certain era of the show. Inside of the lid does of course feature another TARDIS exterior box model shot, which has been really nicely recreated, and this has been surrounded by the rather ugly looking fungus as seen within Planet of the Daleks on the planet Spyridon, and then of course the rest of the cover has been naturally inspired by this, so we have lots of different planets plants and the jungle terrain coming around the side, and even extending to the inside of the spine of the box as well, continuing that green theme that this season box set seems to have. Of course, in the lower half of this, we do also have an image of Katie Manning as Jo Grant, also seen within Planet of the Daleks, which is a really lovely touch. Opening this up, we do get another image from the Three Doctors, which I will come on to in a second, along with the booklet itself. And then, of course, as per usual, on the inside of this, we get a really lovely interior shot of the TARDIS as seen throughout season 10, including the device made by the second Doctor in the story, as well as even the little Easter egg of William Hartnell up there on the scanner as well, which is little details and Easter eggs like this that really make these products worth buying, because a lot of care has gone into them, and you can definitely tell that the fans of the show have put their minds into the creation of these products and the design of how they look. As for the opposite side, you do of course have the regular Blu-ray disc trays, which have once again been stuck in exactly the same manner, with one episode having one disc each. So naturally this box set does have 5 discs, along with the additional bonus disc with more special features on. So it's not necessarily the thickest of complete season box sets that we have seen over the past year. Season 18 and season 19 were certainly bigger. However, what I am happy to report is we do have this little gap down the side here, making it very easy to flip between the different trays and therefore flip between the different episodes as well, which has been an issue on some of the previous products. I do believe it's my season 19 one. The entire tray case is basically coming out of the box because it was stuck too far in this side and there was too much pressure on the trays as you were flicking through them. So it is nice to see that that has been fixed now on the past 2 releases I've reviewed, so I'm just hoping that that is the same for everybody else's products as well. So of course, flipping to the back through all of the separate discs, we do also have another design on just behind the bonus disc. We do of course have the third Doctor's face really nicely represented within the vortex, much like how it is within the title sequence used throughout this season. However, this time round it has been given a rather yellowish orange design, almost like a flame, as opposed to having the black backdrop as seen within the theme tune itself. But I think that this colour scheme works rather well and is a lovely inclusion as always. The complete season 10 box set does also come packaged with this helpful booklet, which is a great accompaniment to when watching each individual disc within this box set. It's a great display of all of the special features, but also a really nice amount of detail relating to each individual story within this set. Starting off at the very front, we have another piece of Lee binding artwork, which is really visually stunning once more. We have the continuation of the green theme, along with a side profile of Omega, and of course the third Doctor and Jo going through the rather glittery hallways that we did of course see throughout the actual story, along with a gel guard lurking in the background. Flipping around to the back, we have a continuation of the green design, along with a BBC archive Polaroid of John Pertwee. As with the previous complete season box sets, the inside information has been written by Pete McTighe, who did also write the Series 11 story Kablam, as well as feature on this box set's Behind the Sofa series. We have a lovely black and white image of the third Doctor and Jo Grant on location of the Green Death, along with an introductory section. We delve immediately into the episodes themselves, along with the 3 Doctors, along with how many episodes it actually is, the broadcast dates, who it's written by, produced by, as well as directed by, along with a list of all the special features featured within that disc, along with additional information under the headings of development, as well as recording, and also on the final page, reception and after image. This is accompanied by a really nice range of images, including this lovely one of Omega here, which is an exclusive illustration that has been made especially for this box set. Next up we have the Carnival of Monsters in exactly the same layout, with another really lovely illustration of a rather menacing and scary looking Drashig, by far one of the highlights of the set for me, I've got to say. So we have Frontier in Space, the 6-episode long story, and pictures of the Ogrons, how very handsome they are. Exclusive illustration of course, Roger Delgado lurking behind Jo Grant within one of the many prison cells that they are placed into within the actual story. Next up we have Planet of the Daleks, same layout with the Doctor and one of the characters from the episode pushing out one of the Daleks from the Swamp Lakes, very reminiscent to that of the Target cover and gives a really lovely touch. And then finally we move on to the Green Death, where we have some further details about the actual story, about the recording and reception on TV. And then of course on the back pages we move on to the bonus disc with additional lists of special features and the very talented people that worked on this release. As per usual, this list does of course feature many familiar and very talented names, so I highly recommend pausing to take a look at the many people that did of course take part in the production of this release and generally making this series possible. A big thank you to all of you, and I hope that your work continues to be seen on the complete box sets in the future. And as with every other Doctor Who The Collection complete box set review, here is a comparison of all of the covers that we've seen so far, side by side, and I do believe that this will in fact no doubt be the last ever review as a part of this series, that we are able to in fact have all of them on screen at the same time, giving a good look at each individual cover. And of course the edition of Season 10 is in fact the earliest season in this collection so far, and I can't wait to see more of them added to the series in the many years to come. So now taking a look at the special features and bonus material included within this box set, as per usual it is packed to the brim, much like the previous releases within this series, including the usual making of documentaries for all 5 episodes, 5.1 surround sound, HD photo galleries, PDF material, audio commentary, additional informational text, BBC continuity announcements, TV archive material, and the great Behind the Sofa series once again continues for a brand new 5 episodes. The menu selection sequence is in the same stunning design with the graphic of the 1973 TARDIS console room, with a few additional Easter eggs included in there as well. Disc 1, The Three Doctors, includes a great making of documentary for the 10th anniversary special, covering the production problems such as the deteriorating health of William Hartnell and his involvement within the production. The brand new Looking for Lenny documentary, along with deleted scenes for this, which is a great personal insight into the episode's director, being Lenny Main, one of the best documentaries that this series has produced so far, presented by Toby Haydock, along with clean versions of the Season 10 opening and closing theme, as well as the alternative abandoned Delaware theme used within the Carnival of Monsters, that I absolutely love. I don't quite know why, but there's just something about it. I love it in its own weird way. The special features for Disc 2, The Carnival of Monsters, focuses mainly on the visual effects used within the story, including CSO demonstration footage, model shot film trims mainly covering that of the Drashig models, studio footage, a revised version of the final scene within Episode 4, the early edit to Episode 2, and the original DVD trailers. Disc 3, The Frontier in Space, features many model shot sequences, giving its heavy usage within this story. As this episode is also the last appearance of Rodger Delgado as the Master, this disc also rather fittingly features a tribute to him, discussing his life with many different interviews, which is a great insight and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And during watching the feature itself, I noticed that I didn't really know too much about Rodger as an actual person. Also featured is a clip from the Pertwee Years VHS, corrected episode 2 credits, and an updated 2019 version of The Perfect Scenario Part 1, exploring representation of future times within the 1970s perspective. The second part of this is on the next disc. The Planet of the Daleks is the chosen serial of Season 10 to receive updated special effects, giving the opportunity to modernise the Dalek spacecraft, the frozen Dalek army, and the invisibility of the Spyridans. As per usual, Rob Ritchie has done a great job, and I love how these features are blended within the original footage. Also included is restoration featurettes on restoring Episode 3 to colour from black and white, Strip for Action covering the Dalek representation within the comic strip format, TV archive material from Blue Peter, and the DVD trailer for The Green Death. As per usual, the updated special effects are in fact optional, so you can either watch the story with the original effects or with the new ones added in. Season 10 closes with The Green Death, and before we even go into the actual special features, can we just appreciate the amazing choice of photo on the disc? It is possibly one of the best classic season discs that we have seen so far. Forget the menacing maggots, we have Jon Pertwee dressed as a cleaner. Absolutely perfect. Included on this disc is a brilliant making-of documentary detailing the creation of the maggots, the casting of the actors within the story, and the location choices, along with many different interviews. Much like Looking for Lenny on disc 1, Keeping Up with the Joneses is a heartwarming, emotional, nostalgic look back on the story that is wonderfully created. It's features like this that really make the complete season box sets worth the purchase alone. A featurette is also included on the visuals used within the production, interviews with Robert Sloman, the writer of The Green Death, along with Stuart Bevan, who did of course play Cliff Jones. There is also a news extract from the Wales Today, seeing John Pertwee revisit the mine location from the episode, as well as a BBC News report and a TV extract from Nationwide featuring an interview with Katie Manning when leaving the role as Jo. Other features include What Katie Did Next, Global Conspiracy, a short presentation film presented by Mark Gatiss from 2003, the second part to the Unit Family documentary series, and finally a whole 3 commentaries including one with Katie Manning and Russie T Davies on episode 6. And finally, for the Season 10 box set, we have the bonus disc, featuring an omnibus 90-minute version of The Green Death, the Season 10 Blu-ray trailer, which is also available on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel, the 2-part Sarah Jane Adventures story, Death of the Doctor, featuring Matt Smith, which is a really lovely inclusion, additional TV archive material, Doctor Who The Third Man, presented by Matthew Sweet, including new interviews with Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, reflecting on the Third Doctor era. It's quite a long documentary, but it's one of my favourites of all time. I absolutely love it. And of course, finally, we have the studio clocks. So overall, for Doctor Who The Collection, the complete Season 10 Blu-ray box set, once again, I'm incredibly impressed by this release, and I can't quite believe we are now onto our 4th complete season within this series, with the 5th and 6th still on the way to come later this year. Once again, as I mentioned earlier on in this review, these special features are very much the main focus of these box sets, and I think that essentially the episodes themselves are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the actual content. And I think as Doctor Who fans, we have a lot to owe to the people that actually put these box sets together. It is absolutely astonishing the amount of detail and precision that goes into the many different special and bonus material that we get on these releases. There won't be many TV shows out there that will go into this much detail to get as much possible content onto these box sets that Doctor Who does. So yeah, a big massive thank you to the whole team that creates these sets, because without them these box sets wouldn't be as brilliant as they actually are. I find it amazing that we get to see documentaries such as Looking for Lenny, Keeping Up with the Joneses, which in themselves actually have a production quality of that of an ITV documentary that will be on primetime evening television, or even that of a BBC Panorama documentary. As Doctor Who fans, we are incredibly lucky to get quality documentaries such as this for what is essentially archive material that happened in the 1970s. And I hope that this top quality continues on the later releases in this series. Of course, if you are a Third Doctor fan, then naturally, of course, I do recommend picking this product up. It is, after all, probably one of the best Third Doctor seasons, and of course, with it being the 10th anniversary, there is something brilliant and groundbreaking within this season to make it a big and important part of Doctor Who history, such as the last ever appearance of Rodger Delgado, the first ever appearance of Omega, and even the first ever multi-Doctor story, and not to forget that emotional departure of Jo Grant. As I mentioned at the very start of this review, this product is in fact currently sold out on the retailers such as Zoom, Amazon, that I would normally recommend you purchase this from online. Therefore, if you do have the opportunity, I recommend tracking this down as soon as possible in order to avoid disappointment and not having another scenario like Season 12, where it goes for massive and insane extortionate prices on eBay, because I did in fact see one of the complete Season 12 box sets only just recently go for around £600, which is absolutely insane, and quite frankly, you do not want to be the person paying that money in order to complete your collection. So thank you very much for watching this review. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the complete Season 10 Blu-ray box set, please do leave them in the comments section below, and I will of course try my best to answer them at some point in the near future. I do of course stay tuned on the Host Productions for more Doctor Who content every single week, and of course my next review as a part of the Doctor Who The Collection series will of course be the 6th Doctor, Season 23, Trial of the Time Lord, which naturally I'm very excited to review in September. So thanks for watching, and I I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.